Hello guys, welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast live. It's me and Paul this week, and we're going to be going through everything West Ham related and any news that we like to cover through sports. If you've got any questions throughout the show, put them in the live chat and we'll try our best to answer them. If you've not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like our content, and please share with your friends. Let's get on with it. It's the Free Hammers and it's live.
Hello, welcome back to the Free Hammers, last show before Christmas. It's not going to be a long one, maybe like half hour or so. We've got a lot of things to do, but yeah, we haven't spoke for a while. Crystal Palace game, Chelsea game. It's sort of stagnated a little bit, hasn't it, recently? I can't that performance on Monday. I thought we played really well between goal to goal. I said that a little bit earlier. What do you make of the last couple of games, mate?
Yeah, like you say, mate, gone off the boil a bit. Injuries, obviously, as we all knew, they would now playing a massive part. Masuaku being out, disaster. Obviously, Cresswell went down in the Palace game, and I don't think I think he was sort of carrying that injury for the rest of the game. Weren't really getting the deliveries in. And the positive of that game for me was Lanzini coming on. I think Lanzini looked really good when he came on. Really creative.
Game, yeah.
And then obviously he ended up getting injured. Apparently it's an hamstring, and then he misses the Chelsea game. And he was exactly what we needed in that Chelsea game. Exactly what we needed. I
think most people, when they see the lineup, and Noble was in there, could sort of see what sort of level of performance it was going to be. It was going to be quite slow. I've got to say, between the goal and the second goal, I thought we was really good, actually. Just that cutting edge.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a weird thing. I said at the time, we were dominating the midfield. We were actually controlling the midfield for once. We had massive amounts of possession in that game, but we did nothing with it. Nothing. All we did the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. We just got the ball wide, crossed it in. And if you're Chelsea, if you're Frank Lampard, how easy is that to defend? When you've got the likes of Zuma, Thiago Silva, they could defend that all day long. They let us have the ball in midfield because they knew that all we were going to do is put it wide. Then they just packed the box and clear the headers. And the crosses weren't good either. The deliveries were poor.
They were
and it no shots on target, not a single shot on target.
Yeah, first time this season we haven't scored as well.
Second,
is it? Yeah.
Newcastle we didn't score against Levi on the first day.
Yeah. What did you make of Haller, mate? I think I said it a little bit earlier. I did a video, just a quick one before this one came out. I think he got absolutely bullied by Thiago Silva. He's running out of chances for me now. Yeah, okay, he scored that absolute, incredible goal against Palace, but I don't know. I think you've got to take a hit on him, I think, when the time comes.
I agree, mate. Unfortunately, I've tried to back him. I've given him time. I've tried to support him, but I'm losing patience with him. He doesn't. We've said many times. He's not an Antonio. He's not. He's not one that's going to burst down, break the lines, and all the rest of it. But it's getting to the point now where you're starting thinking, what does he do?
Yeah. What
does he do? He scores a great goal every now and again, and I think in a different team, different system, he's a different player. But he's just not. If we're going to carry on playing how we're playing, it's not going to work. The only worry that I've got, and I've seen this a lot on the forums and stuff, I've seen a lot of fans saying, if Antonio was playing last night, we would have scored 4 or 5. If Antonio was playing, he would have buried them like Man United game. Antonio would have scored 6. Chelsea, Antonio would have. Antonio's not Felipe Inzaghi. He's not going to come back in and score an hat-trick every game. Let's not pretend Antonio's some wonder finisher. But
he offers a different threat.
Yeah, we missed that energy.
Yeah,
we miss that energy. We missed the work rate. That's what we miss. We still need another striker. We need an Antonio that's better technically. That's a finisher. Those are stupidly expensive though. That's the only problem. Yeah. But no, we do miss Antonio massively at the minute. Like I say, my only worry is when he does come back. I think it's a case of that. The longer he's been out, the better he's got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree with that. Yeah, so the goals, obviously, for marking, and the legendary defender Thiago Silva puts it in. Big goal. Their second goal was a bit fluky, really, weren't it? Werner sort of fluffed the shot and it fell to Tammy Abraham's. Obviously, third goal our heads went. Some talking points though. The Jarrod Bowen one, mate. All for you?
100%. That was a goal. I do not know. It's ridiculous. And I know because the ref blew up, the VAR couldn't look at it. But I don't like you. If that was the other way, there's no way the ref blows that for the foul there straight away. No way. He should have let the play continue, and then go back and have a look at it. I mean, the fact that Thiago Silva went down holding his stomach when Bowen was behind him. How did the ref fall for that? And then I watched the replay so many times. I can't see any contact. The only thing that makes me think something must have happened was Bowen didn't really look surprised.
He didn't contest, did he? He
didn't really contest it. So Bowen must have felt like something had happened, but you couldn't see it. And I think if the ref had let that go on and Bowen had scored and then VAR looked at that, I don't think VAR would overturn that.
I think they would have allowed the goal. Yeah,
I think VAR would allow that. For me, it was a perfectly good goal. I want to say as well the Declan Rice goal that was offside. Oh, so unlucky! Like really quick,
great finish as well.
Really quick thinking. The finish was fantastic. Took it round the keeper, tucked it in, and I'll tell you what, Rice in the last couple of weeks, he's really showing like the technical side of his game. He's got lovely feet
as well. Yeah,
he's got lovely feet.
Drive as well. Going forward. So that's a good way to finish this bit, mate. So positives from that game, if any, for you, mate. I think his delivery. Thought Sofel was again excellent at right back. I really do. I think we've found such a bargain there at 5 million. Really impressed with Rice. Thought Souček was good during the times we were playing well. What about you, mate? Any positives?
Just echo what you said, mate. Really, I think Sofel, his delivery let him down.
Yeah, there was one point where it was a good chance to.
Yeah, but apart from that, great signing, bargain what we paid for him. Like I've said before a couple of times, I don't think he's going to be like some world beater, but he's a real good, solid, dependable right back, and that's exactly what we need. Apart from that, I mean, Fornals needs a rest. He's absolutely knackered. He's just not getting involved in games at all anymore.
Didn't do much, though, did he?
Benrahma didn't do anything.
Didn't do much when he came on.
Like I say, the game was screaming out for Lanzini. It was
carrier in midfield.
Someone who could pick the ball up in midfield, see a pass, try and play through him. Screaming out for him. And we just didn't have that. We didn't have that option. Cresswell showing. I know he did all right the other day, but he's not. He can't really play left back. I don't think he's got the energy to get up and down and cover. Obviously,
I think he gets pulled out of position as well.
Most of the goals, I think actually all three of the goals could be blamed on Cresswell. One of them obviously didn't step up with the defence, and there's lots of issues that need addressing. I think when you look at it, if I'm being honest now, I think if you go back a week, maybe we were all getting a little bit carried away. We were all getting a bit ahead of ourselves. I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves.
I think Lee said it, didn't in the chat, and I think you said it as well, mate. I think what it exposed was not a bad team. We just have a serious lack of investment and lack of depth, and it's being exposed now.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. There's a massive lack of depth. Not getting the right players. I know Benrahma was a player that you really wanted, but the more you see him, the more you think, where does he fit into this team? I said that right from day one. And then you look at when we played Palace, Izzy, to me, is basically a left-sided Jarrod Bowen.
So I think this is a really good point, actually, just on that, mate. Rama needs to beef up a bit as he's too much of a lightweight and easily pushed off the ball. And like you say, mate, with Eze, looked like he's ready made for Premier League. He was big guy, strong guy, like he really did.
I think if we'd have gone for him instead, if we'd have had Eze on the left, Bowen on the right, that would have been a real nice balance. Would have freed up maybe Fornals to play more central. I don't know. I hope Benrahma comes good. I really do. I think he will. I think it's a big adjustment, you know, coming from the Championship to the Premier League. The step up in level is massive. It's a massive step up. He's not going to get the same time that he had in the Championship.
Nah. And you get 3 players around you very quickly. Like Palace did that, didn't they? 3 players around you.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to jump in the chat. We controlled most of the game for 20 minutes mark until the 75th minute mark. But the big difference between the team is Chelsea could finish.
I mean, you say that, Neil. You say that. I can't think of it. What clear-cut chances did we create to finish?
That's true. Apart from Haller have a header really early, sort of wide, didn't he? Like that.
Yeah,
that's quite a big chance that was.
You know, we didn't create anything. I think that's the problem. You know, Chelsea were happy enough, especially after they got the goal. They were happy enough to let us have the ball because they knew we weren't going to do anything with it. You know, we had loads of possession and we were really good at getting up to the edge of the box. But as soon as we got there, nothing. You know, it was play it wide and then a poor cross in. So I don't even think it was a matter of taking our chances. We didn't create any chances.
Yeah, that's similar answer for the there, mate. We seem to be struggling finishing our chances. Yarmo could do no worse than Haller. Listen, I'm not averse to that. I would definitely try that if Antonio's not ready for the Brighton game, which we'll talk about in a minute. Rice was about foot offline from scoring a good goal. I agree, mate. That one already. Cresswell doesn't have a defensive awareness to play left back, in my opinion. Benrahma is better out wide, in my opinion. Gets swamped a bit in the middle of midfield. I agree, mate.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
agree. Yeah. So since our last show, mate, we signed a player. We signed a defender, Alves. Yeah, what do you make of that?
It's good to see. I can't say I know anything about him, to be honest, mate. I know, having a quick look online, he seems to have been quite highly regarded. Is it Denmark?
Yeah, or Danish, yeah.
Quite highly regarded over there. It looks like he came up. He's first started his football in Brazil, which is interesting. You know, you'd like to think he's quite a technical player. Then, be interesting to see, like I said, whether he's signed as, you know, a youth player. It won't be the first time we've signed sort of younger players, and then you never ever see him again.
Never see him, yeah, like Cardoso.
Or if he's been signed to come into the first team. You said it yourself, mate, in the chat the other day. I think if he's been signed for the first team, Diop is on his way.
What is your opinions on Diop, mate? Like I said my opinions on the show I did a couple of hours ago. Up for you, mate. Keep or sell.
I would keep him unless a massive bid coming for him. If a massive bid coming for him, and I don't think it will at this point. You know, he hasn't been great. Let's be honest. The last sort of...
It's be on ice, doesn't he, sometimes?
But at the same time, he's still so young for a centre-back. He's so young for a centre-back. And he's got the physical attributes are there. I think he needs time. You know, he's... like I say, I would sell him if a big bid come in, obviously, you'd sell him. But I'm not saying...
What is a big bid, then? So what's a big bid?
Well, I'd say if anything north of sort of 15 million, 15 above. A lot of people will probably think I'm crazy. Oh, we should sell him for 5 million. But the market we're in now, the prices are not those prices anymore. You know, you can't sell a young, promising centre back for 5, 6, 7 million. In my opinion, I think you've got
to at least get your money back, which would be like the 22 million we paid, didn't we? Yeah, I wouldn't be adverse to sending him. I wouldn't be adverse, I have to say.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's really difficult. Same as with Haller. You know, we paid 45 million. Well, potentially.
We'll get a maximum 20 million. Maximum.
And that's great. That's why I don't think he'll go. Because there's no way we're going to take a £25 million loss on it.
They may do in the summer a loan fee. So it's like, you can have him for 5 million, something like that. Another one, mate, Felipe Anderson. Rumours that he could come back in January. For me, mate, a lot of people are saying, oh, he could get a chance, he could come back hungry. And to Porto was his chance to be hungry, start showing how good he was. I don't think he likes football anymore.
Possibly, mate. Possibly. No, I agree. I think if he was tearing up the Portuguese league, then all right. But he's not really doing anything. You know, obviously he's potentially being sent back because they don't want him. And what does that say? What does that say about him? An on-form Felipe Anderson, probably exactly what we need right now.
His first season, I was saying it earlier. His first season, he was excellent, mate. He was one of my favourite players, and I was urging him on last year to do well. But I don't know, something's not right there. Something's not right. He, 50% when he's trying to step over, 50% when he's trying that pass. Just half-hearted for me most of the time.
Yeah.
TJ says someone needs to tell up to look behind him when he's defending. He gets caught ball watching every game he plays.
Do you know what I think would be really good for Diop? I think a loan would be really good for him to go out, maybe to the Championship, maybe to a different league where he's going to be playing every week, because that's experience. It's coaching obviously, but it's experience as well. He needs to be getting that experience, which I don't think it's the right place for him. We can't just chuck him in to our first team and try and get him that experience. He's a weird one. He plays really well when he's defending sort of 10 yards in front of the box. When he comes out to defend, he looks brilliant. But when we're sitting back, when we're deep, I don't know, he seems to sort of panic, like say, mate, Bambi on ice. And it's strange for someone so tall, he can't head a ball. He can't seem to read the flight of the ball. He always gets caught underneath it, which is weird. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with him.
Haller would be great in Hasselhutt's up front, or Adams. Yeah, that is my only last chance for Haller, to be honest with you. If he got given a chance with Antonio up front, it's the only thing I've got left that's some belief that there could be a player in there. You think that would ever happen? I don't think he'll play it. I don't think he'll play two up front.
How many weeks have I been saying that, mate? How many weeks have I been saying I want to see Antonio and Haller play together? I don't know. I don't know. I can't see it. I said I'm not going to start getting on Moyes' back at all. I'm not. I said a couple of weeks ago I wanted to see a bit more adventurous from him, and it looked like we might be getting that. And then against Chelsea,
is that his fault though? Is that his fault? Because I think, mate, I think you're right. I think Lanzini would have started that game if he was fit.
Yeah, I do as well. Could he? He had options. Did he have to bring in Mark? Could he have played Fornals in the middle, Ben Rama on the left from the start?
Yeah.
Could he have played a back five? Could he have, played Johnson
in
there? There was options there. And fair enough. Okay, you started the game that way. Mark Noble knows what the Chelsea game means, all the rest of it. Maybe he wanted that. I kind of think Noble got in Rice's way a little bit. I don't think Rice was as good as he has been, because Noble was sitting in the midfield as well, where sort of Rice would normally be playing. But I think after the first sort of 20 minutes, when we did start getting on top, Chelsea didn't look happy. They would have defended crosses into the box all day long, but I don't think they looked great. They won 3-0, but they didn't look great. I don't think they really did. And that's when I would have liked to have seen Moyes say, right, we can go after this, we can turn this around. I don't think he's got that in him. I don't.
Cautious, yeah.
So as far as playing Antonio and Haller up front together, I don't know. I think that's probably going to be far too adventurous for David Moyes. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I hope we see it. I'd love to see it.
Neil says he's lost faith in Haller now. I've stuck with him from the beginning. One that's come out, mate. X said it actually. Arnie, I think we was asked this a couple of weeks ago actually. Moyes wants him or doesn't want him. What would you do in that situation?
So for what?
For Arnie. So Moyes has said, look, I would like Arnie to come back. He is perfect for the system we play. In the next breath, it was the board are not keen on me signing him.
I don't know. I don't like it.
There's no denying that Arnie in that system would be amazing, and he would.
Is he the same player though?
Who
that's
knows?
The question.
Who knows? That's
the question. Is he the same player? Yeah, that prime Arnautovic, when he was tearing it up for us under Moyes the first time,
takes us to a different level.
Oh yeah, all day long, get him back. But is he still that player?
It's a good question.
I don't know. And then how much does he want? What sort of money does he want? And then you've got one of the whole big things that people keep saying about this team now under Moyes that's so good is the team all of a sudden looks together again. Good sort of team spirit, getting rid of the likes of your Felipe Andersons who maybe were a bit disruptive.
Do we really
need a Moody Arnautovic coming in, yeah, he might be world class for 6 months. What happens after that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't find it now on Twitter. Chris Akabusi's response was really, I found it. Here we go. So he put out about the Arnie thing, and he read, "No one likes an ugly bar steward unless you're the bar steward. That's what we need right now to go from a mid-table team to a genuine top six team, in my opinion. Win against Chelsea if he's up there with or without the number 22. Just saying." Like Chris would like him to come back. I just thought it was quite a funny tweet. Yeah, I think barring, I don't know because I really do like Arnie, and Arnie is so good. I don't think it'll happen anyway. I'm just putting it out there hypothetically. Yeah, interesting one. Interesting. Yeah, so we move on, mate. We play Brighton on the 27th. They're fighting for their lives down there. Should be looking to win that one, and just show that consistency we've got now. Look, we're not going to finish top six, and we never thought we were anyway. Like you say, we may have got a bit carried away. I just want that consistency of we're not at any point this season going to go on like 3 losses. We lose 2 in a row, that's fair enough. Just make that rut straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. It's a tough one. Like you say, you look at that game and you think, it's a game that if we do want to be, sort of mid-table, looking up, it's a game we have to win. The only thing that worries me is they'll sit back, they'll pack the box, and we need to find a different way to open them up, because just like we saw against Chelsea, and pretty much Palace as well, crosses into the box are just it's not going to do it. It's not going to do it.
If Antonio's fit, would you put him in?
Yeah,
you would. You wouldn't save him for Southampton game? Because I said no. I said I'd rather put him in the Brighton game, a game that's more winnable.
If he's completely fit, if he's fit and ready to go, and if the club looks here and go, we could risk him, but maybe it's best to leave it. Then leave it. Don't risk him if you don't have to. If he's completely 100% fit, ready to go, play him. Because we need him. We need him in the team at the minute.
But see Ben Rama start as well. Go and start.
That's what I'm saying, mate. This is what I'm saying. This is again what I was saying a couple of weeks ago. This for me is the test for Moyes now. Against teams like Brighton who are struggling down the bottom of the league, relegation battlers. How's he going to come out against them? Is he going to go for it? Is he going to go attacking? Or is he going to do the same? Oh no, sit back, compact. Maybe we'll get lucky off of a set piece. Because if it's the latter, I'm not interested. I don't want to see that. This is where, to me, he needs to prove himself and say, right, we're going to go and win these games.
I do think we're going to spank a team soon as well. I think there's going to be a game where these missed chances, like the Man United game and things like that, they're going to tuck someone in like 4 or 5-0. I don't think that'll be the Brighton game. I'm going to talk about Southampton purely because we probably won't get a show in between then. It'll probably be after the Southampton game. It's a tough game. I don't fancy us at all for that game. They've got some great players in there. They did Arsenal the other day. Who do you like of them, mate, and what do you see for that game?
It's tough. Like, they're having such a good season. Where are they at the minute? Are they still top?
Third, I think, aren't they?
Third. So I don't know, mate. It's one of them. That's a game where you look at and you can't expect us to win. That's a game where you think, as long as we go, a draw is a good result there. Do you know what I mean? A draw is, if we could come out of these 2 games with 4 points.
I think 25 points, mate, after Christmas. We need 3 points. We need 4 points, don't we? So I'd be happy. But if we've got 4 points and we're on 25 points after Christmas, I think that's really good going.
And I think that's what we should be aiming for from those 2 games. I think 4 points, to aim for 4 points for those 2 games, I think that'd be spot on. Like you say, you don't want, sort of loss again, and then all of a sudden the mood starts dropping. The league is so tight this year. A couple of wins, and all of a sudden, like you say, maybe you're getting a little bit carried away, but a couple of wins, all of a sudden you're like, we're chasing 5th.
It's what it looks like in January, mate. It's what it looks like in January. You lose them couple and you're sitting maybe 15th, 14th. Win that couple, or you win and draw that couple, sitting 6th and 7th, and then you're saying to players, "Oh look, come, you're sitting 6th and 7th."
Yeah.
I think that's what you've got. It's that psychological thing heading into the January transfer window.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah, gonna go into the comments quickly. Jim Bloke says hi guys, and he says
Great
Christmas
name.
greetings to you all. Yeah, and an old player in is a bit like getting back with an old girlfriend. It almost never works.
Mm.
You have to show more intent going forward against teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Southampton game depends on if Noble starts again.
For me, like I love Mark. You know, I think he's been an incredible servant for the club. He's a club legend. I don't care what anyone says. The man is a West Ham legend. But he shouldn't be starting any game.
He had no legs, mate. He nothing.
He shouldn't be starting any game anymore. You know, he's.
I can understand him coming on. I understand that, drawing it up, the ball passing just as you need. And when the game's at his pace, then at 75th minute, game slowed down a lot. Yeah, he shouldn't be starting game. He really, really shouldn't. When you're bringing on Ryan Fredericks to be the difference maker, you know, it's not good in the 89th minute. In January,
89th minute. That's the typical Moyes.
Yeah. DJ Blokey says, do you think Moyes will be worried about losing and attacking?
That's the question, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, I think so. He sets up not to lose rather than setting up to win, and I think that's a big gamble that we take, you know.
And that's my problem with David Moyes. That's why I don't really like him.
I think you text me, mate, when we went 1-0 down. You text the chat, and you said, "What now, Dave?"
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. You know, that's why I don't really like Moyes as our manager, because of that. You know, I want to see him prove me wrong. I want to see him prove me wrong. You know, I want to see him come out exactly like you said, mate. We need to come out and try and win those games. Moyes is trying to get Noble back. I don't think Mark wants another contract, mate. I think he's done.
Talking about contracts, mate. Declan Rice, obviously, contract's meant to be on the table. You know, we discuss him every week, and you know, why not? You think he'll sign?
Yeah.
You think he will?
Yeah, I think he will. I don't think that will mean anything as far as him leaving.
I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to sign.
No?
I don't think he will. I think he won't be able to get what he wants in terms of he'll get the money. I think he's a bit more wiser than that. I think he will be saying, okay, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do to keep me? Are you going to go and spend 100 million? No, buy something, show me ambition. I think that's more of what he's about. I don't think he's that bothered about a pound note. I think he wants to see West Ham are going to show him that they're going to want to keep him there. And I don't think that more, or he may sign a contract with those promises. We'll do the classic 30, 40 million and go, oh no, we've got to actually pay that money out and spend it. And we pay £1 a year for 200 years. Then that's when his head will go.
I think we'd be stupid to think that conversations haven't already taken place about Rice leaving, because they would have done between the club, between Rice, between his agent. Those conversations would have already happened, and we all know Rice ain't going to stay forever. And for me, I think it will be a case of, and I'm sure the club have done this before, it will be a case of, all right, listen, sign this contract, and then if a bid comes in from Chelsea that's this amount, we'll let you go. That's what I think it will be. And it will be sort of signing the contract to do the club a favour. So we've got sort of more bargaining power when we come to selling.
I'd like to think that the club have already identified the replacement for Rice already. I know, mate. I know. If we were a proper football team, it would be done already. No.
Yeah, and I saw a really good thing.
Instead of the panicking, it's the panicking in the summer.
I'm pretty sure I read it on Knees Up Mother Brown. Someone on there was saying really, really good point. If we were any kind of smart football club, we should be spending that money now.
Yeah, identify that target for Rice now.
But not even identifying them. We should be buying that player now, because when we sell him, everyone knows you've got 80 million, whatever it is in your pocket. All the prices go up. So identify that player now. Go and get them now before anyone knows we've got any money. And then
I've heard it about Leicester, mate. Leicester are so good at easing that transition. You know, Maguire, Zayuncu, Ante, Edemans, and Madison, Mahrez. They brought Perez in. We never do that. We never have that, and it's never like for like either.
No, and that's obviously the problem with having David Sullivan as our
Scout,
director of football, because it's just it's the man's playing real life football manager. He is, there's no system, there's no. Again, I know you like him, but Ben Rama's an exact example of that.
I don't know. Yeah, mate, I agree. For me, the Ben Rama one's a selfish one. I wanted him because I wanted someone to get me off the edge of my seat. That's all it was. Rice one, I say it makes me nervous. And then if Rice was to go, I think it leads quite nicely into some of the thing that's coming up in a minute. I think Souček would go as well. I think if the Bayern Munich bid come in, I think Souček would go as well, mate. I'm going to win here.
To be realistic, like he'd be silly not to, wouldn't he? Probably the best team in the world.
Has Souček got any Eastern European mates? He's West Ham's greatest scout. He has a apparently that striker may come in. Simmer, is that his name? Simmer, something like that.
Apparently,
19-year-old.
I'm pretty sure I read that Juventus have already been in touch with him.
Oh, well.
So if that's true, then forget that.
I think with Slavia Prague, though, I think we owed him. I think we should build that relationship with them and start sending some of our youth there. Ashby, go and do a season in Prague, and potentially Champions League football and stuff like that. Send some of our top kids there to get them really good.
Yeah. Again, mate, these are all things that if we were a well-run club.
No, that's right, mate. Did you see Leicester's training ground at all yesterday on Twitter?
No, I didn't know.
So Leicester have made this ridiculous. Looks like Tubby Land training ground. Like just beautiful. Oh, sorry. Then reporter cabins, like next to it. Like just our one. It's that thing of you take a player around that Leicester training ground. Like, yeah, this is a proper club. This is run. Stan, there you go. There's your shed. There's your parking spot, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. I wonder what Lampard said to Rice when they were walking off. He probably said there's shirts over there next to Mounts, mate, for next season. 100 million, the end of Rice. 100 million is a great price, though. It's a great price. Listen, anything above 80 million is a fantastic price.
There's
money for.
There is not a club in the world that would turn down £100 million for Declan Rice. As good as he is, as much as we love him.
That's a great point. That's a great point, mate. There's not a club in the world that would turn down 100 million. That's a fantastic. James Garner, Manchester United's youngster, the closest thing I've seen to Rice. Obviously, not as good potential. So I've heard of him, mate. Having a laugh, Luke. West Ham can't plan a dinner. Change my name to like. Lucas Jules is a good striker. There's not much else West Ham related. Mate.
One thing, just to mention it. Not really much to talk about. Just to mention it because we didn't while we were talking about it. Antonio signed a new contract.
Oh yes, no, he did. He did. You're right, mate. Deserved.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
he got a slight pay rise as well in there. I'm glad it's short. I'm glad it's not taking him. I think it takes him up to his 33. I think it is 34.
What is it? 3 years was it he signed for?
Yeah, I think he's 31. I think it took him to 33 or 34. I think beyond that, I think you're hanging on to a player that will just. It'll be like an Andy Carroll situation where he's only playing like 10 games a season.
Yeah,
probably scoring them 10 games, but do you know what I mean? You don't want to be stuck with a mercenary again.
No, and it is well deserved. I've slagged Antonio in the past, but he's deserved. He's earned it. He's earned it. He's come out. He's come out and he said that he wants to retire at West Ham. He's been a good servant. Especially the last couple of years. He's earned it. He's earned it. Like you say, you don't want to be giving a man a 6-year contract.
No.
But enough to
because
take him
you end up, mate, with a player that I'm going to throw at you here, mate. Apparently, he's back in January. Winston Reid. He was given a 7-year contract. Absolute legend. He was a fantastic player. Let's not get away from him.
Yeah. I mean, that's unheard of. That was even at the time. That was mental. Even at the time.
I've seen a few clips of him where he's playing. Can't run anymore. Literally can't run. It's such a shame because at the time, mate, he was Arsenal linked, Liverpool linked. There's no denying he was fantastic.
He was. Of course he was. He was our best defender by a mile.
Amazing defender. Yeah, it's such a shame what happened to him. Scored the last goal at Upton Park. it says I would turn down 100 million.
Mate, if you owned a football club, you might think different if it was if it was coming in. I mean, like I say, it's just.
Go on, mate. I'll let you finish. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, like, it's none of us want Declan Rice to leave. None of us want to see it happen, and I'm sure none of us really believe that money will be reinvested properly. But you've got to be realistic, mate. Like I say, £100 million. He's gone, and
100 million as well, mate. We're only one injury away from it not being a £100 million player anymore, and you're only one bad season away. Look at Dele Alli, for example. Dele Alli a couple of years ago, you'd go, that's an £80 million player there. Oh, he was excellent for Tottenham. Now, what's Dele Alli worth now? 30 million? Like, he's desperately to go out find a new club. That's a player that actually, as a West Ham fan, I would look at and try and buy. You could get him for 30 million. I would buy Dele Alli.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout, but yeah, that 100 million.
Talking of players as well, mate. I just remembered another one actually. We're linked heavily linked as well. Christian Eriksen, mate. On loan. Yes or no? Again, it's back to that. Does he fit?
That's what I'm thinking, mate. Obviously, if you just as a player, of course, all day long. Where does he fit? I don't know. Where does he play?
We don't play a cam, do we? We don't play a central attacking midfielder.
No, exactly. The closest we've come to playing that position was when Lanzini came on the other day. I don't know. I don't know where he fits. If we signed him,
fantastic.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah, absolutely. If we had the system to fit him in, yeah, you'd take him all day long. But it'd be a weird one if he did so.
Yeah. I don't think there's much else West Ham. A question I was asked, though, mate, that I'm going to ask to you: who is your West Ham player of calendar year?
It's Ogbonna.
Yeah, I said exactly the same. I said Ogbonna. I said there were shouts. Socek, we signed in January, he's been impact. Owen's been impact. Rice, he's easy to say. 8 out of 10 every week. Oggy showed his class these last 2 years.
Yeah, he's been our. For me, he's been our best player. For me, he was Hammer of the Year last season. He's Hammer of the Year so far this season as well for me too. He's just getting better, getting better with age. Ogbonna without doubt for me.
Yeah, I agree, mate. If you got close to 100 million for Rice, would we get to decide if we spent that on 3 or 4 new players?
Depends, doesn't it?
Mate. That's
it. That's the question. It depends.
Leicester have shown what you can do with. What did Kante go for? Was Kante 70 million? Maguire 80 million? Mahrez 60 million? It just shows what you can do if you spend the money wisely. Kante was bought for $1 million. Mahrez was like 2 million. You know what I mean? That is how a club progresses as well. It's that continuous reinvestment of money.
Yeah.
If we was to sell Rice, you've got to go out and buy 2 or 3 players that go into your 11. None of this squad filling crap. It's got to be you're going straight in and you're going to make a difference. But do I trust them to do it? I don't. X did say as well, mate, that the takeover rumours are starting to spark again. Then it leads to the question: would they want David Moyes as the manager if they were to take over? Would they fall into the trap of we want a sexy manager?
I don't know. Has a club ever been taken over and not brought in a new manager? I don't know. And like I say, I've made my. I don't want to go into Christmas being the guy who's slagging off David Moyes. So I'm not going to do it. But I've made my. Everyone knows my thoughts on Moyes. Do I think he would deserve to be replaced? No, absolutely not. He wouldn't deserve it. He deserves to be given a chance. But I think that's just one of them things, if takeovers do happen, they generally want to bring in their own man. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. I'm going to wrap up these comments, mate, and then we'll wrap it up. Very good player, Eriksen, but we have a few Eriksen type players already. Luke, you're back on. Yes, I told you we might get 2 shows out today. We play Eriksen. We play Eriksen left back. Oggy or Thomas, obviously for the hammer of the calendar year. What do you guys think of Adam Armstrong? I think it'd be class. Would be a great sign if GSB want to spend money. Yeah, you want to go and get someone who remind me of the Dean Ashton sort of impact. Dean Ashton was at Norwich and we picked him up. I think Adam Armstrong, English goal scorer down there in the Championship with Blackburn. Why not? You know what I mean? And I put it out earlier. I would go and get him, and maybe in the summer go and get Bradley Dack, who is with him and links up really well with him. I think that's really good. Are you a test to finding someone like that, mate?
No, absolutely. That's where we should be looking. We should be
Rico
starting
Henry as well, left back.
Yeah, there's lots of players there that we've been linked with that would improve us. I really don't know what I think is going to happen in January. It wouldn't surprise me if we didn't sign anyone. Maybe,
I think King's done. I think King is done.
No?
I
don't know. Will the board be looking at that thinking we can wait 6 months and get him for nothing?
Maybe we're in discussions with Messi, who can discuss a new deal with other clubs from January the 6th. Maybe
Lanzini will have a word, mate. Get him over.
yeah.
I heard he always wanted to work with David Moyes. So
I heard that as well, mate. Dreamed of playing at London Stadium as a young kid.
Yeah. I actually had a picture come up on my memories the other day, and it was when Argentina played the friendly at Upton Park, and you had Messi walking through the back. It blows my mind even just thinking about that.
I don't know why I didn't go. I really don't know.
Genuinely, see that I just when that picture came up, just Lionel Messi walking through the back in West Ham Stadium.
Yeah, it's mad.
Just
it's madness.
Yeah.
Mitchell is a Liverpool fan. When we sold Coutinho, it literally transformed us because we reinvested the money. Yeah, it did. And it's a really good video actually that I see about Coutinho and why he's transferred to Barcelona. Is one of the key things that made Liverpool good and Barcelona bad. Barcelona spent like 100 million on him. And they went and bought Dembele and Neymar and stuff. Like Neymar went, then they bought Coutinho. Like how it sparked off this like chain reaction of football, turned Barcelona crap, then Liverpool good.
It's a weird one at the minute. I was talking the other day, and we were talking about Real Madrid, and Real Madrid obviously they were the original Galacticos. Like Real Madrid were all the best players in the world went to play for Real Madrid. Who have they got now? There's not one player in that team that I would say is a Galactico. Not one.
No, you could argue that Varane's probably one of the best defenders in the world.
But I agree with that. But I'm talking about those players that are there to win you. Those players that are going to win you. Yeah, I just it's crazy how both teams, Real Madrid and Barcelona, the slide. But yeah, it was just that Real Madrid really got me. Like they were the Galacticos.
Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah.
Real Madrid are still the biggest club in the world. If there's
even Barcelona, mate, like you say, mate, Barcelona had Herrera, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho. Apart from Messi, one of the best players in the world. You look around him, you can understand why he's a bit disillusioned now.
Yeah, I mean, they went out and they bought Griezmann, but it just hasn't worked. He was supposed to be the big one. Suarez is gone. Yeah, it's interesting to see. The state, but it's doing wonders for the league over there. Similar to England at the minute. Now it's just opened the league up, which is good to see. But some of the results are mad.
Yeah. Last few comments. Mahrez cost the Foxes less than £1 million. I hope we don't get King, Neil says. Armstrong reminds me of Andy Johnson. Moyes had at Everton. Overrated. Rico Henry would be brilliant. He would. Your thoughts on Diop? We've discussed that quite in depth. I think he will go. I don't think Moyes fancies him, but I think we said that he got a chance to stay. Maybe go out on loan. I went to Argentina game. Messi was mesmeric to watch. Night I was right in front of poetry in motion.
For me, he's the best player of all time.
Did you see he equaled Pele's record yesterday as well for most goals for one club, 664. And Brillinica, I don't like the geezer, I can't stand him. He put a great tweet out. For anyone to break that record, he would have to score 43 goals a season for 15 years. It's not happening.
For me, he's the best player of all time. He's the best player of all time. He's the best player I've ever seen. He's for me, he's just absolute. Yeah, yes, that you talk about Ronaldo and you talk about Maradona and Pele, and but for me, he just plays the game on a different level. He just does. It's just the things that he does, and it's that he does it so effortlessly. That's what it is with Messi. It's just effortless. It's just natural.
It's
just a
grace, isn't it? Grace.
Yeah, unbelievable.
If you get a lot of money for one player, you need to spend it wisely. What Spurs did. They didn't spend that wisely, though. They didn't spend that wisely. They bought in like Llorente. They bought in some really bad players from that. I bought Ericsson in, though. I agree with that, Ericsson. But yeah, they didn't spend that money too wisely. I think we'll wrap it up there, mate. There's been some good boxing as well. Just a little touch on that before we finish. AJ did win with a knockout. As you predicted, mate. Cautious AJ. Different style. How I think he
looked good though. He looked really good.
It was a great knockout as well.
He looked really good. Really good.
And then the Triple G did well when he's fighting. But Canelo, I think, just showed absolute class. Have you watched it, mate?
I haven't watched it yet. No, I didn't get up to watch the Canelo fight. And I was like, I'll watch it the next day. And I saw the result. And I saw apparently it was like a dominant win. And I keep meaning to just sit down and watch it, but I haven't put it on yet.
Guy's defense and just, his absolute class and ferocity of punching. He's just so good. And I'll tell you what I did take out of that fight. And I know it was 5 years ago. Look and think, how good is Floyd Mayweather? Jesus Christ. Honestly, Floyd Mayweather, to keep him quiet and for that man to not land one punch on you just shows how good Mayweather is.
I don't think there's any question that Mayweather's the best defensive boxer of all time.
Ever.
I don't think there's any. There's no doubt about that. But that's what he built his entire career around. Like he said that in interviews, isn't it? Like he was told, the long. If you don't get hit, you'll last longer, and he wanted to last as long as he could, make as much money as he could. So he built his entire career around not getting hit, and he was the best at it. Yeah. It's just a shame he's such a twat, and his fights were incredibly boring to watch. Incredibly
dull, yeah. Apart from the Oscar De La Hoya fight was a good fight.
Yeah.
Right, last few ones. Ronaldo over Messi for me, of his generation, purely because he's done it in multiple countries. I love Ronnie as well. Ronnie's my favourite. It doesn't mean I dislike Messi. I think that's what comes down when people have these conversations. I think it's automatically like, well, he likes Ronaldo, which means he doesn't like Messi. I don't not like Messi. I just prefer Ronaldo.
It's the same. Like I don't not like Ronaldo. Ronaldo is obviously absolutely unbelievable, incredible player. For me, the difference, and I've always said this. I've always said this, and I agree that if you're having that argument, 100%, Ronaldo has proved it in multiple countries, multiple teams. Yeah. 100%, I get that argument, but for me, Ronaldo is just pure determination, work rate. He's got that mentality that I'm going to win no matter what. I'm going to be a winner. You like your elite sportsman. I'm thinking like Michael Jordan, all the rest of it. That mindset of I'm going to work and I'm going to be the best and I'm going to work and nothing's going to stop me. See, Messi was just born with it. Messi has just got it. Like it's just like natural.
People like that. Yeah, Jack Grealish. You can't teach that style. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Although I don't believe you just said Grealish in the same sentence as Lionel Messi, but
no. But you can see that someone like Grealish, you can't teach how to play like that. You know what I mean? Like that's a natural swagger, natural arrogance that these players have just got. I think there's one more comment in there. Also,
great comment. That was brilliant.
Yeah. You like Messi to have. We're blessed to have seen both of them. I think that's a fantastic point. I'm wrapping it up there. Okay, guys, have a really, really good Christmas on Friday. It's a shame that it's been taken away from us, that we can't mix and stuff like that. Have a really good New Year. Hopefully, West Ham give us some points. To make Christmas even better. Me and Paul will try, if we can, get a show in next week, maybe like Wednesday, Thursday sort of time. Wrap up the year. Until then, guys, come on, you ones, believing, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's go.
Cheers.